Hola a todos, bienvenido, me llamo Pearly. Welcome back to another episode from Pearly. So, making a language learning plan that we will actually stick to for a long time is so hard. So hard, especially in the beginner stage. Wait, it's probably even harder than the language learning itself? Maybe? So I'm experiencing the same challenge with learning Arabic and Spanish right now. So I try to recall how I succeeded in consistently learning French for a long time back then. And after some reflection and summarization, I finally realized some key mindsets and methods that I applied back then that allowed me to consistently learn French for a long time. So today, let me share with you how to make a realistic language learning plan that you will be much more likely to stick to. Let's get right in. Yalla yalla! Step 1. Set a vision. Always have a vision. Find a role model or imagine what your life are gonna be after you learn this language. Vision is so important because it gives us this unexplainable, powerful motivation, you know? For example, my role model for Arabic is Brian Wiles. I watch his video clips where he speaks Arabic every time before learning Arabic. I was so inspired and motivated by it every time after watching it. It made me feel like it's no longer an impossible task. If he can do it, then I can do it too. If you can't find a role model, it's okay. I also don't really have one in Spanish. Instead, I always imagine what my life will be after I became proficient in Spanish. I love watching Luisito Comunica's videos, so I always visualize the time when I could finally understand everything of what he said without subtitles. That's gonna be just so amazing. The tip here is try to find a video clip or a picture that you can use for visualization. Look at it and practice visualization every time before starting to learn your target language. Step 2. Self-assessment. What's your preferred way of learning? I don't know if you have already noticed, people who succeeded in learning a language are those who find ways or methods that work for them. There's really no correct way of learning a language. It's all about finding the methods that work for you. So what's your preferred way of learning? Based on my experiences, there are mainly 3 ways to start learning a language as a beginner. Firstly, attending courses, whether it's virtually or physically. Here, I'm not talking about recorded lessons, but live classes. I used to be not a big fan of taking classes because I found them kind of rigid, not that flexible, not that entertaining, but I'm glad that there are more and more good platforms out there right now, such as Cambly, which is the sponsor of today's video. Cambly is an online platform that offers both live one-on-one English lessons.
Have you been to Middle Eastern country before as well?
Yes, I lived for many years in the Middle East.
Oh, really? Which country was it?
Well, I was in UAE, Saudi Arabia, in Oman,
Yeah.
Afghanistan, Iraq.
Oh, wow.
And group lessons for English learners.
Hi, my name is Pearly and I'm from Taiwan. And I have a law background and I actually did my bachelor degree in Japan, like in Tokyo.
What I love the most about Cambly is how flexible it is, like in many aspects. First of all, I love how flexible it is in terms of lesson scheduling. So you can not only schedule your lesson anytime and any day, but you can also adjust the length of your lesson time. The shortest can be 15 minutes. I really love how flexible it is, as sometimes I'm just not in the mood of taking classes or I'm just way too busy, but I still want to be consistent. In that case, I can just shorten my lesson time. On top of that, the content of the lesson is flexible and can be customized as well. You can discuss with your teacher what would you like to learn and practice, but if you don't know where to start and prefer to have a structure to follow, you can also join a course, which the course material will be provided. What I find the most convenient is that your lesson will be automatically recorded each time, so you can review them anytime you want after the lessons. Lastly, you can find your teachers using keywords, which is something that I find super cool and practical. Let me show you. For example, if you would like to have a teacher that can help you with preparing IELTS exam, just type in IELTS and there will be many options for you to pick from. And after you click in the teacher's profile, you can further check out their intro videos, their self-introduction, other students' reviews. I just love how Cambly made it so convenient for students to find a suitable teacher. You can use my code PP2024 for a 30 minutes trial lesson that will only cost you 29 Taiwanese dollars, and you will also have a 40% off for the monthly plan. So be sure to check it out. Secondly, follow a textbook. Another way of learning is to pick a textbook you like and go through it page after page. One big advantage of a textbook is that it's usually very structured, so you don't have to worry about missing things. Plus, it will save you a lot of time looking for and adjusting to different resources because your main task is to just stick to this one book. Thirdly, consuming different kinds of medias. For example, watching YouTube playlists specifically teaching your target language, watching pre-recorded lessons, watching YouTube videos in your target language, or listening to podcasts teaching your target language like Coffee Break series. While assessing which one is your preferred way of learning, oh, by the way, you don't have to just pick one. You can also combine them. For example, you can spend 50% of time attending courses and another 50% of time immersing yourself in different kinds of medias. There's another important factor to consider, which is whether your target language is very different from the languages you know. If it's very different, then a textbook would be a good choice. For example, Arabic is so different from all the languages I know. So while my favorite way of learning is through immersing myself with different kinds of medias, besides medias, I also follow a textbook. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be way too lost without a structure to follow when learning Arabic. But if it's not that different, for example, Spanish, since I already know French and English, I only learned it through immersing myself with different online medias. Step 3, find a 30 minutes block in your day. Think about your day. Can you find a 30 minutes slot you can use for language learning in your day? Of course, it's better to have a continuous 30 minutes block, but sometimes we just get so busy in our life to find one, so a fragmented one is fine as well. The key point here is to make sure that you expose yourself to your target language at least 30 minutes a day. Step 4. Create language learning plan based on your moods and how busy you are. So the thing is, I assume that most of you watching this video learn languages as a hobby or for travel reasons or for communicating with friends or partners or simply just because it's cool, just like me. So our sense of emergency is not as strong as those who learned it because they have to apply for schools, for visas, for work, etc. etc. So in other words, we need to be pretty good at disciplining ourselves in order to successfully stay consistent. So that's why it is important to build our learning plan based on our moods and how busy we are, especially our moods. I mean, if I don't feel good that day, it's just so unlikely that I would want to do a language learning session that day, right? Okay, now let me share with you how to build your own language learning plan. I'll use Arabic as an example. So first, we need to build a graph. In the horizontal column, we write down happy and not happy. In the vertical column, we write not busy and busy. So as you can see, you basically need to decide what you are going to do in 4 different scenarios. Let me share with you how my plan looked like. First scenario, when I'm not happy plus busy. I prefer to just keep it simple because I'm just not in the mood and passively consume the content of my target language. So I listen to podcasts or watch YouTube videos using fragmented time. Second scenario, when I'm still not happy but this time I'm not busy. In this case, I do practices that cannot be done in fragmented time, like shadowing practice. But since I'm still not in a good mood, so I only do things that I really love that will even cheer me up. And shadowing practice is one of them. Third scenario, when I'm happy but busy. Here, as you can see, I put several options because being in a good mood is always the best. Even if I'm busy, I will still try my best to squeeze time for language learning, so I keep the plan more flexible. Last scenario, when I'm happy and not busy. This is one of the best scenarios, so I use this chance to do my least favorite or more hardcore practice, which is to study the textbook. So just like this, try your best to imagine what you will be willing to do in different scenarios and write them down. Of course, it would be nice to write them as detailed as possible, but it's also totally fine to keep it general, as it would already be great to at least have an idea of what you are going to do in different real life scenarios. So when you come across it in the future, you won't just say skip it completely that day because you are just not in the mood or too busy. Step 5. Review your plan weekly. Yeah, we are finally in our last step. So it would be nice to review your plan at the end of each week to see if there's anything to adjust, to improve, so that your plan will become better and better. And it will further help you to stay consistent and motivated in this long language learning journey. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you find it helpful. Please let me know in the comment sections if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.